Looking for signs of domestic abuse. Details about the volatile relationship between Madeline Kingsbury and the father of her children, Adam Fravel, are raising awareness about how hidden this abuse can be.
Fravel is facing 2 charges of second-degree murder for the death of Kingsbury. Now, if Fravel is found guilty, her death would be the 12th from intimate partner homicide in Minnesota this year alone.
The nonprofit organization Violence Free Minnesota has tracked the number of intimate partner homicides in the state for the past few decades. In 2021, the organization says at least 20 women died from intimate partner violence.
And our Darian Leddy is in our studio tonight after talking to local resource centers about this. Darian.
Well, Tom and Caitlin, both the need for domestic violence resources and the severity of abuse are on the rise in the area. I talked to some local experts about knowing the signs of an abusive relationship.
When it comes to domestic violence relationships, control is at its core.
Controlling where an individual goes, controlling what they wear, who they have access to.
The perpetrator, the abuser, maintains whether or not that victim will live or die.
And for many, it can be difficult to reach out for help or leave the relationship.
I've talked to numerous survivors over the years who said, you know, it took me a while because I just didn't want to reach out. I was somewhat embarrassed. I didn't want to burden my parents.
They may not have any control over their finances. They may not have control over where they live.
The Advocacy Center of Winona has worked closely with the Kingsbury family and the entire Winona community to mourn the loss of Maddie.
It's very close to home.
Leaders there say what stood out to them in the case is the account of Fravel putting his hands around Madeline's neck.
The perpetrator, the abuser, maintains whether or not that victim will live or die.
According to the Training Institute of Strangulation Prevention, the odds for homicide increase 750% for victims who have been previously strangled compared to victims who have never experienced it.
I think it's important when individuals interact with victims of survivors, whether that's law enforcement, security officers, that recognizing a history or asking the right questions about a history of strangulation in a survivor is going to be really important.
And if you or someone you love is a victim of intimate partner violence, you can reach out to a crisis line. Both the numbers for the Rochester's Women's Shelter and the Advocacy Center of Winona are on your screen and can be found on the web version of this story on KTTC.com. Live in studio, Darian Leddy, KTTC News.